Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jnana Vairagya Sampurnan Hari Bhakti Parayanan Purvacharyanaham Vande Sampradaya Pravartakan Hare Rameti Krishneti Nama Sankirtanam Sada Lokakshemaya Kurvantam Premikam Sadgurum Bhaje Kalaye Sundarakaram Sadaika Priyadarshanam Ajnana Nashakam Devam Sadgurum Muralidharam Murali Mandita Karakamalam Munijana Mohanam Yatyastapadam Balamala Dharinam Prema Bhakta Mandala Nityakirtitam Shri Premika Varadam Ashriyam Sriman Seshadri Nilayaha Sharanagata Vatsalaha Sarvalokaikanathascha Srinivaso Gatirmama Brahmarudra Dachyamana Prasanna Charanambuja Padmavati Prananatha Srinivaso Gatirmama Sharanya Sarvalokhanam Shankachakra Gadadaraha Pranatartiharo Vishnu Srinivaso Gatirmama Meghashyamalaupascha Jagannamangala Vigraha Srivatsa Kaustubhadaraha Srinivaso Gatirmama Pitambara Padmanetro Govinda Komaladaraha Vanamali Vasudeva Srinivaso Gatirmama Kwana Kinkimpalascha Kanchi Kankana Bhushitaha Kalyana Gunacharitraha Srinivaso Gatirmama Karuna Purna Hridayo Gandharvamara Sevitaha Koti Manmathalavanyah Srinivaso Gatirmama Prasada Lesa Samdrishta Bhakta Mandala Bhujitaha Prakapakti Marga Sulabha Srinivaso Gatirmama Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. By the infinite grace and compassion of our Thakurji, Madhuri Siti Saveda Premi than Thakurji, with the grace of our Aishwarya Srinivasa Perumal, with the infinite blessings and compassion of our beloved Guru Maharaj, we are all gathered here as a satsanga in the shadow of a huge banyan tree called Aishwarya Srinivasa Perumal. And in the shadow of Guru Kripa, in this beautiful satsanga, in this beautiful utsavam, a Vaibhavotsavam, where we celebrate Bhagavan. And we saw how Bhagavan descends down in different avatars. And Puranantaras say, Venkatadri Samosthanam Brahmande Nasti Kinchana Venkatesha Samo Devaha Na Bhutaha Na Bhavishya. That is what Puranas say. The greatest of places indeed is Venkatadri, And there is no other Bhagavan as good as Venkatesha Bhagavan. And this is not Arthavad. Arthavad Mabhinaka. It is just to praise for the sake of praise, It is not best. This is the best. Like, that way we say, just to get you an interest, I'll get you the best of candies. We say the kid, that is not really the best. Just to enthuse the kids. And our Shastras do that very well. Just to get us interested in a particular devata, in a particular path, or in a particular matha. Our Shastras do it. Our Dharma allows it. It is Arthavad. It is not against the law. But this Vakya, this particular Vakya, that Venkatesha Samodevo na Bhutaha na Bhavishyati, there has not been a greater deity than Venkateshwara in the past, or it will never be in the future also. Why? Adina. We have various Archamurtis. Today there is no paucity of temples in our Dharma. Wherever we go, we find temples. But it is only Venkateshwara who decided to come down for the sake of Kali Yuga. For the sake of Kali Yuga, Bhagavan decided I will come down, and bless people. At the prayer of Narada Bhagavan, Bhagavan decided he will come down. He will come down as Lord Venkateshwara in Seshadri. In the 7 hills, he will come down and bless all of us. And the place was chosen by Narada himself, and Bhagavan decided to descend down in this auspicious place of Ekatadri. And he said he will come and he will bless everyone with all their prayers in Kali Yuga. Bhagavan's words. That is why, because it is very Bhagavan's words, it is supposed to be the best of Kshetrams, the best of Bhagavan's avatars. And this is one deity who accepts our prakriti, our surrender. What he expects when we come into this temple, what he accepts is our surrender. How should we surrender? Should we chant shlokas? Should we fall into his feet? Should we, say some prayers? Is it some physical thing? Is it some bhava, spiritual bhava? It is something mental. Should we pray? What is surrender? Various sampradayas talk about it in different ways. But by merely having his darshan is surrender. By merely having his darshan is surrender, that's too much. By him having your darshan that is surrender. So even if you go out, the Sannidhi is open and he sees you, that is enough. He has determined to be that way in Kali Yuga. Because in Kali Yuga, all of us, Bhagavatam says, Mandaha, Sumandavateha, Mandabhagya, Hipadritaha, Pakhanda Nirta Santaha, Virakta Sa Parigrahaha. Bhagavad Maharanyam says. People are very, very stunted in their intellect, Mandaha, Sumandavateha, even more knowledge and knowledge and intelligence. Sumandamateha. And even if they have inner, how can you say this? Isn't it? There are more and more discoveries today, there are more and more scientific advancements and all of that. Yes, true, but nothing towards the inner self. Everything goes out into the world. Everything is to go out into the world and continue to have more knowledge. That's what is happening today. People talk about AI today and job security. And the more and more things that people go out in terms of discovering things, the more and more problems we have. And the path to the self, the shortest path, has now become the longest path. So unfortunately, that is the case That is why our rishis say, Sumandamateha. And even if someone decides, okay, today is a holiday, let me go out visit temple, let me come and have Perumal's darshan. Even if they decide that, at that time, their fortune is so strong that that is when they will get phone calls about a party here, or a friend requesting for a help for an airport drop, or anything, unfortunately, or fortunately, we don't know. They'll say, okay, this always takes a second president. And they say, okay, maybe tomorrow. He's standing here all the time. Maybe tomorrow. Oh, today it's going to rain. Maybe tomorrow. But if it's going for something else, it's okay. We're going to meet a raincoat, right? They'll allow to come for worldly things. But it won't come for this. That is what our Rishi said. Sumanta Madera, Mandabhagyaha. And even if you cross all that and get into your car, that is when you will have the battery down in the car. Upadrita. So the entire nature will collude so that you don't get into the kripa of Bhagavan. That is how the nature of things. And over and beyond that, we come here. Imagine if this Perumal is, he's not this way. He's sitting here in a chair, let us say, with one foot down, the other foot over his thighs. He's sitting there. He's folding his hands and looking at you. He's like your dad looking at you. And the moment you come into the door, guess what will happen? And you will come here to say sorry. Yeah, it's to surrender to Bhagavan. You know what? He'll ask you, teacher, what have you done? What have you done in your life that you come here? Yeah. Oh, that is why he decided he will be this way. He will be as an Sathiamoorthy. He will not show any expression to the normal person. Underlining that, to the normal person. He will be a very normal Sathiamoorthy. So you come and look at him, you don't need to be afraid of him. But when Mahans look at him, they are not able to look at him as a stone or as an Sathiamoorthy. They feel so shy. There's a great Mahatma called Vedanta Rishi. When he is doing a grantha, he is doing a work on Perumal, no, not on Perumal, on one of the consorts of Perumal called Dayadevi. He has written 100 verses on Dayadevi, addressing Dayadevi. What is Dayadevi? That if Perumal's form takes another form, if Perumal's compassion takes another form, that is Dayadevi. And he is addressing that Dayadevi. Just imagine, right? If Perumal's compassion alone takes a form, it can only be a mother, right? It can only be a mother. Mother is the most compassionate. So if that takes a form of a mother, that is Dayadevi, and he's addressing that in 100 verses. It's called Dayashta. And when he starts with that, he says, I surrender to you. The first word he starts is Prapadye. Prapadye tam girim prayaha Srinivasa anukampaya Ikshusara shravantyeva yanmutya shakarayitam. All he does he come and surrender to Bhagavan Perumal here? No. From his home he starts, you cannot imagine that way. He is surrendering to our Tirumala, to the Prapadyetvam Tam Girim. He is surrendering to the mountain itself. When he looks at the mountain, it is not made of stone. He says, tons and tons and tons of sugarcane. When it is all churned and got the sugarcane juices gotten, it is processed and all that. Imagine 7 mountainfuls of sugar. That is how the mountain Ikshusara Sravanteva Yanmurtya Shakaralitam. Sugarcane alone is not going to be good enough, isn't it? Yeah. Today you want some sugar, you lack sugar, you have diabetic problems, you lack sugar. Now, if I give you even tons of sugarcane, it's not going to help you. You need sugar, right? Sugarcane processed and proper sugar, so that you can take a bit of it and that will help you, right? And even to a kid that wants a candy, you cannot give a sugarcane, right? You just give a candy, right? You need sugar to pacify, to satisfy the kid. Adhanala Bhagavan gives this mountain, he looks at the mountain as a form of sugar, 7 mountain full of sugar. So he surrenders unto that mountain, so that Bhagavan can accept that surrender. The moment he goes in, anyway, here the beauty is, this is the first verse of the Ashatakam. See how much he is inspired by Bhagavatam. Srinivasa Kampaya is the exact word from Bhagavatam. So this is canto 19th chapter. Namaradite Garbha Srinivasa Kampaya. Exactly the same word, just like our Vedavyasa uses Janmadhyasya from Brahma Sutram. Here he uses it exactly from Bhagavatam. Srinivasa Kampaya, Pramana. But the moment he comes to Perumal, he is stunned there. Why? Because he says, "Oh my dear mother," he addresses Daya Devi, right? He says, "Oh my dear mother, I haven't seen such a big person as you. Why is she so big? Bhagavan is so big, it seems." Azhwar says, Namadwaar says, "Ulagamunda Peruvaya, Ulapil Kirti Ammane, Nilavum Sudar Surimurti, Nediyai Adiyena Ulekadam, Ulagukai Nindra Thiruvenkadatham Perumane." That is how he starts, he addresses our Perumal here. And the way he starts is Ulagamunda Peruvaya. He says Peruvaya means one with a big mouth. If Bhagavan has a big mouth, not necessarily a big mouth, but he's on the Bhavama Bhagavan. When we see the Vyakyanam, we see that Bhava Bhagavan wants to take all of us unto his fold in the Bhava Peruvaya, big mouth. So here, Swami Deshikam says, I don't know if you have a big mouth, but you have a big appetite. Because you are his consort, isn't it? You definitely have a big appetite. Mai tishtati dushkritam pradhane mita dosha nitaran vichimbati tvam aparadha ganaihi apurna kukshihi kamala kantadaye gatam savitri. You have such a huge appetite. I will come to you. Sadharanamala, you cannot give him this, 2 oranges, tons and tons of laddus made every day, right? For his prasad, how appetite. Here Swami says, the appetite, there's special place there where food is made for you, all of that, and they are in how much ever big baskets or barrels that may contain your food, all of that is prepared for you. You need even more food. Come to me. Come to me. My sins alone is enough. I will feed you like anything. You can eat my sins how much ever you want. I'll be one-stop shop for a daily. If you want to do Aradhana, come to me. I will give you. Puja. Oh, you need puja, all your sins will be depleted. She will eat all your sins. No, I will make it. I will commit more and more sins. Tomorrow also it will be ready for you. Super. Swami. And that is how our nature is, isn't it? We don't have the smallest. That is how I am. He becomes so bold and says, "You are indeed Bhagavan, you are indeed the king, Yes, you are a king. Don't think of it like that, Don't think that you are a Chakravarti. I am also a Chakravarti. What kind of Chakravarti are you? You are a Chakravarti. Yeah, you came as Chakravarti Perumal. Now you are a Chakravarti here. You are a king, you are an emperor, but I am also a Chakravarti. Don't consider me trivial. What kind of Chakravarti? Ahamasmi aparada Chakravarti. Karune tvam cha guneshu sarvabhaumi. So when I come, get a throne is equal to you. Because I am an emperor, you are an emperor. We should sit as equals. Unless you are greater than me, which I know you are. You know what you should do? I have big army of 6 people come, Krodam, Vadam, Moham, Matsare, all of this I have. I have a big army and I have so many soldiers. I know you also have so many soldiers. Now let us have a war. And I pray to you, Perumal, that I lose. You invade all my sins, you take me unto you. That is the only way I can surrender to you. That is, and another great Mahatma sings, isn't it? Madhava, Govinda, Madhusudananda, Mahidayam Kuru Hare. Aparadalayam tatapi sharanagatam avamamanjasa noche gopala niraparadhinam षट्कर्मनित्यरतं को वानरक्षति अहो गोपाला. Bhagavan, Gopala, don't tell me you protect everyone. If someone that is strictly following the dharma, strictly following the shastras, does all the well prescribed for him, when he comes and stands, you say, Aham Bhakta Paradinha, my Bhakta, Mad Bhaktaha, and all. When I come, you should say that. Aparadhalayam, I am the end. And if you have a temple, I have a temple too. I have a temple of aparadas. All kind of mistakes that I do. Aparadhalayam. But today I come. Somehow, by Guru Kripa, by your own mercy, I have come, I have entered the Sannidhi. Tatapi sharanagatam avamamanjasa. I come inside, isn't it? Please take me unto the fore. Our NEP says, only a mother can do it. Our Guru Nanak beautifully says, when the little child is going to fall into a pit, will a mother just be standing there like that? பள்ளத்தில் விழ இருக்கும் குழந்தையை பார்த்தும் பாராமல் இருப்பாளோ எந்த தாயும். I'm falling into a pit. I have started skipping, சறுக்கி விழும் சமயங்கள் என் வாழ்வில் வாய்க்காமல் இருக்க மறுக்காமல் நீ உதவு. When I skip, please help me, please catch me, even before I skip. Because mother is that is how Bhakti is here. All these Mahatmas show us how we surrender to Bhakti. But for these Mahatmas, we will not understand how to surrender to Bhagavan. We will just come, it will be another vacation for us. We will go to Tirupati as a vacation. We will pack. It will all be in terms of planning for it, taking the planning for food, planning for stay and all of that. But having darshan of Bhagavan, that also we plan. Even when we go in front of there, what to ask, what to pray for, nothing we will know. Yes, definitely, the moment, it is a bhagyam that we go into Tirupati, we step into this Sannidhi itself. But beyond that, when we want to do a prayer, we don't know what to pray for, isn't it? Mahatmas have to show that to us. And to show that is why Mahatmas descended. And Bhagavatam says, Kalau bhavishyanti Narayana Parayanaha. In Kali Yuga, Mahans will decide to show how to surrender to Bhagavan, how to surrender to our Perumal. And where Kvachit Maharaja Dravideshu Chabudisha Tamraparni Nadiyatra Kritamalapayasvini Kaveri cha Mahapunya Pratichi cha Maharati Ye Pibanti Jalam Tasa Manujam Manujeshwara. The first of these Mahatmas, the first of such Bhaktas will descend down in Dravida Desha. In the banks of Tamraparni, they will descend down, and banks of Tamraparni, Vaigai, Kaveri, and they will give us all that is required for us to get assured that Bhagavatam promise is suspected. And what did happen? The descent of Alvars. When we say we are also Alvars, what do? We rule our own sins, we rule the way we live, the way everything. We are also Alvars. They come to Alvars and are completely submerged in worldly life. They are Alvars, only they can come and liberate us. Those Alvars can come and liberate us, isn't it? So, starting from the three Alvars in the beginning, Koige Alvar, Dudaka Alvar, Hey Alvar, starting from Namadwaar, they all started out from Tamraparni Nadi. Namadwaar started out, he emerged from the banks of the Tamraparni River, and from that, all these Alvars, all the 12 Alvars showed us how to do bhakti. Did they take classes or no? They were submerged in so much bhakti, and they showed how we can normally speak to Bhagavan in our own language, in our own terms. We can open our heart out. There is no need of memorizing any shlokas, anything. We can speak our heart out. Simply. The way they cry out to Bhagavan, when they look at Perumal and they cry out, they cry their heart out. And how best can we cry our heart out? In our own mother tongue, isn't it? They showed us that. You can do that, and still Bhagavan will listen to you. And they showed how, don't think of Bhagavan somewhere else. All the Puranas, whatever stories they tell you, this Perumal did all that. That Perumal that came when Gajendra cried out Adi Mulave, it is actually from Tiruvallur. That Perumal that gave Vastram, infinite Vastram for Draupadi, it is actually, he is standing there with a mustache in Tiruvallur. He says, they showed us how to look, how to go and pray in temples. Simply. And they gave us 4,000 verses. 4,000 verses, showered us with 4,000 verses. And we have all of it. But even if it is outpourings in our own mother tongue, we will not be able to understand it without Guru. We will not be able to understand it without Guru, isn't it? Unless there is Guru Kripa, unless there are Mahatmas that can interpret, we can sing all these kirtans, we can sing all these prabhas, we can open the book, start reading Manvel, we can do all Tripavai, all 30 days, all of it. But we cannot do a translation, word-to-word translation, understand the meaning. We need someone to interpret it, go into their heart of the composers, interpret it and give it to us. Otherwise, we will not understand their bhavas. Otherwise, it will be completely different the way we interpret it. So, we need someone to expound it and give it to us. That is Acharyas. Acharyas have come down, once Azhwars have descended down on earth, after that, because their idea was not to teach us or help, give it to us and all that. Their idea was to just open their heart out and sing to them. We were fortunate enough, we got all of that, and if we are to make use of it, we need proper guidance. But for guidance, we cannot use it. We cannot, even today, we need manuals for normal, mundane things. For understanding Azhwar Suktis, Sri Shuktis, don't we need proper guidance? Acharyas have given that guidance to us. So, right from Ramanujacharya, right from the Purvacharyas also, they have given us so much of guidance to show, to understand these Srishaktis of these idols. And one such Acharya was Sri Ramanujacharya's Sishya, his own Sishya, Parashara. Kurakarwar's son, Sri Ramanujacharya's Sishya was Kurakarwar, who hailed from a place called Puram in Kanchipuram. And his son, he had two sons. One of his sons was called Parashara. And Parashara had complete compassion and love of our Narayanan Swami, the Perumal of Sri Lanka. So much that he considered him as his own son, his own child, and Perumal. Especially on the Kamuni Uttaram day, this little child was playing with a ball in the temple, and it was a time when Perumal and Taya are together in Sri Lanka. Perumal and Taya are not always seen together. On only one day a year you can see it. And you know how Taya is? You know the Gambhirya of Taya. You know Bhakti is she will not come out of her, she has a temple of her own. She will not come out of her temple, never ever. If Perumal needs to meet her, he has to go to that temple. That is the Bhakti. She has Kaniko Vimachya. She will not Paditanda Patri, she will not cross and come out. Perumal will go. Perumal will do all his leelas, and then he will try and enter. I will be angry. Then Taya will forgive Perumal, and Perumal will enter. That is the day of Panguni Uttram when Perumal and Taya enter. And they are together. And I will be glad Perumal is such a blessing to even witness that. Panguni Uttram, Tirumachanam of Perumal and Taya. And during that time, when the screen was put, for decorating Perumal and Taya, this little child Parashara Bhattu was playing with the ball. And the ball went inside. And Parashara Bhattu, he also followed the ball. That is when these, Archakas stopped Parashara. They said, hey, you cannot go inside. And this little child started crying. That is when Perumal himself said, no, allow him inside. After all, it is the mother and father that are inside. Why can't a child, a little child, come in? Perumal himself recognized Parashara as his son. That was Parashara Bhattu. And the Parashara Bhattu, he had the Sishya. Sri Parashara Bhattasya Sishyascha Mahamatihi Namna tu Madhava Monihi Narayana Parayana. He had a Sishya, a very, very learned Sishya called Madhava Muni. And this Madhava Muni, after he had become Parashara Bhattu's Sishya, he was supposed to take the lead of the Sampradaya. So Parashara Bhattu recognized as his own Guru, his own Guru Parampara, next to his Guru Parampara, so he called him Namjiya. He is our Jiya, he called him Namjiya. He is known as Namjiya. And our Madhava Muni was such an obedient disciple of our Parashara Bhattu. And Parashara Bhattu had written, he had given a lot of Divya Sutras. And our Madhava Muni also had so many Divya, he had written commentaries on Namadwaar's work, Vijayam. And his commentary is called Ombodayira Padi, 9,000. He has written 9,000 verses as a commentary for our Vijayam. And he had a Sishya called Kalidvamsa. He was called Varadaraja, later called Kalidvamsa. And he, our Nanchiyar, called Kalidvamsa and said, this is my 9,000 verses that I have written as a commentary on Vijayam, which is Namadwaar's work. So, what we do? Take it and make a proper manuscript of it. Divyasuri Prabandhanam Kritva Vyapyanam Adbhutam Kalidvamsam Shishyavariyam Avochad Vaishnavottamah Sridharapatra Tvam Yaktascha Lalitaksharam Etat Prabandhakhyanam Vidyanaya Sadaram. Go and make a proper copy of all these verses, make a fair copy and bring it. And he gives this verses, this set of Muralidhara to Kalidvamsa. Kalidvamsa takes it and he has to cross the Kaveri river and go to his place and start making the copies of it. As he enters the Kaveri river, suddenly there is a deluge, there is a flood. Every day it happens to be flood. There is a deluge, and what happens? This flood is so much that he is, at one point he doesn't know whether to save his life or not, whether he will live or not. So somehow he tries to struggle out of the flood, he comes out, he escapes safely. When he comes out of the other end, he realizes that all the works are missed. That is when he feels so terrible. Oh my goodness, I am here to take the works and make a manuscript. My Gurunada had given me a work to do, and look at me, I am living, the works are no more there. Kimartam rakshita prana mama prana dhane gate prana samrakshana yaivam guru droha krito maya. Can there be a greater guru droha than this? I mean, he feels so very terrible. Oh, Katha starts crying like anything. He is almost ready to give up his life. But his when our Radhanatha comes and shows himself. Evam hi pralabandino nitaram munamanasaha murchito mur mahatmanaha maapanna vivarjitaha nasya swapne kripasinduhu aveputa shriyapatihi Shri Ranganatho Bhagavan Srivatsanko Jagatpatihi. Bhagavan shows himself to our Kalidvamsa and says, Kalidvamsa, what happened? Kalidvamsa says to Bhagavan, saying, I have lost the manuscripts, what my Guru gave me, and I feel so little. He says, don't worry. Kim Nodishi Mahabuddhi, Kwame, Bhakta Matam Baraha, you are the most favorite. Why do you cry? Close your eyes. I know how great a Guru Bhakta you are. Close your eyes and meditate on the Acharya's feet and I will bless you, and start writing it on your own. It is all in your memory, you can give it. He starts writing it. And our Kalidvamsa starts writing. He starts writing, he continues to write it. And now, it was a 24,000 padi, it became 30,000 padi. It became 36,000 verses. He writes 36,000 verses with our Perumal's blessings. And he takes these 36,000 verses and he goes to his Acharya, Nanchir. The moment Nanchir looked at this, Aho Atyadbhutametattu Vyakhyanam Bhavata Kritam Mamabhyante Vinashketu Bhayam Dukkascha Masmadaha. Don't worry that you lost my Grantha. Look at your Vyakhyana. It is even more better than mine. You are like my son. He calls him Nampillai. You are like my son. He calls him, he embraces him and says, even beyond my Vyakhyana, it's your Vyakhyana. So don't worry about it, and we celebrate. It is called Eid. This is the basis for a lot of understanding of the Nala Review Prabandham of Nalivas is this Eid. That is, Nampillai's Eid is a very authentic Grantha. And on the basis of this Eid is how we get all the other Vyakhyanas. Even this Eid is very hard to understand, and there was a disciple of Nampillai called Krishna Suri, who gives us even better Vyakhyana, and in all these, in the Vaishnava Sampradaya, it is every Mahatma, every Azhwar, every Acharya has an epithet. And our Krishna Suri has a very special epithet. He is called Parama Karunika, the most compassionate. Yeah, he has taken this Eid and he has given a Vyakhyana for all of us, without which we cannot read the 4,000 verses. And our Periya, he is called Periyavachan Pede. And our Periyavachan Pede has been the basis for us to understand all of this. Today, if you can look at the 4,000 verses of Azhwar and understand it, it is all thanks to Perumal. And how did Perumal get that Kripai? To Perumal. He loved Tirupati Perumal so much, he wanted to go to Tirupati, so himself and his wife, he left his parents behind in this beautiful holy kshetram called Shankapuram. Asti Shankapuram nama grama parama pavanaha Subramanya nadi tire kumbhakona samipataha Tatrasi Vaishnava karchit Krishna sumriti shutaha Aranya bhaktiman Krishne Bharya Aradhya Madhave. He was such a Krishna Bhakta, he left his family, old aging mother and father here in Shankapuram near Kumbhakona, and he left for Tirupati. And when he went to Tirupati walking, there he saw Perumal, he saw the beauty of Perumal. He was so attracted by the beauty of Perumal that he wanted to have another darshan. So he stayed. Tomorrow I will go back. Then he stayed one more day. Now, what is this darshan of this Perumal? He said, I'll stay back one more day. I'll stay back one more day. That's it. He kept staying there for days and days and days together. He never went back. Perumal came. For normal people like us, we are okay. But for Avatara Purushas, Perumal has to come and remind them of their Avatara Karyam. Perumal does that through various means, either through their Guru, either through various different means. Perumal comes and does that, isn't it? So, Perumal came in the form of Vaishnava and said, he came with a Shalagram. Shalagram is Perumal in the form of a small murti, small archa murti. He gave a Shalagrama to Vaishnava came and met Krishna Suri and said, this is a Shalagrama, keep this and you go back to your home. And Krishna Suri said, no, I cannot go back, I cannot leave Perumal. You're giving me a Shalagrama which doesn't have the beauty of the Perumal. Look at the Perumal. Look at his gambira, look at his face, his smile, his lips, his beautiful broad shoulders, his very compassionate feet. Look at all of that. How can I leave all of that, take this little Shalagrama home? I won't do that. Then this Vaishnava says, no, you go home, your parents are eating back there, you go home, take this back home, and Perumal will give you darshan in the form that is most, that you love the most. Don't worry, take it home. Mata pita bhantavascha mitrani cha dhanani cha edat sarva mama yabdu venkatesh shriyapatihi. That's what Krishna Suri says. He is my mom, dad and all. I don't want to go. No, go home. So he says, okay, I will go home. And he leaves for home. And when he returns back from Tirupati, when he goes back to Shankapuri, on the way he Uttara Kaveri, which is actually Kollidam, he takes a snana. He has the Shalagram very carefully. He does a snana in Kaveri river. At that point, the Shalagrama disappears. He doesn't know where it went. So Krishna Suri doesn't realize that. When he comes back and sees the Shalagrama on the sea, he feels so bad. Unfortunately, I lost the Shalagrama. It is something that Perumal himself gave me, but I lost it. So with all sadness, he goes back to Shankapuri, and he feels, he starts crying. And that night in Stokana, Bhagavan comes and says, don't worry, Krishna Suri, go to the banks of Kaveri river, in this place, close to the Kaveri river, I am here. You can find me. And Krishna Suri goes next morning, he goes to that place, he digs up and finds a beautiful form of Srinivasa. The only difference between Tirupati Srinivasa and the Srinivasa is he has Abhayastam. Here the Srinivasa has Aradhastam, our Shankapuri Srinivasa has Abhayastam. As if to give Abhayam to our Krishna Suri, and he builds a beautiful temple there, and even today that temple exists. And our Guru Maharaj sings, Kripa Samudra Srinivasa Tava Kinkarasya Mama Pranesha Kripa Samudra how Perumal has an Abhayastam that can give Abhayam to us, that has given Abhayam to him. He sings in the beautiful Kirtan. That is our Shakapuri Srinivasa Perumal. Even today he is celebrated in such a grandeur, especially on this Rohini day. We are able to celebrate every Rohini day. There is a golden chariot for him even today. On this Rohini day, we are able to do a Maharanyam of the Srinivasa, and this Srinivasa is no different from that Srinivasa. Because he is come from Tirupati, he is also there. It is that same Murti in the and the Perumal, we did a Maharanyam of that Perumal and that Acharya, who is the Purusha, for Sri Sri Anna. He mentions that in his Vaishnava Samhita as well. And that Acharya, Periyavachan Pillai's Vyakhyana, and Guru Maharaj mentions this too. Sharanam Sharanam Sadgurunatha Tava Smaranam Dehi Sadgurunatha Krishna Suri Vamsa Bhanu Krishna Prema Vitarana Shila. How our Krishna Suri, which is whose Periyavachan Pillai, gives his our his lineages, the Guru Parampara of Shishya. And without his Vyakhyana, we cannot understand Azhwars. And to understand Azhwars, the easiest set of verses that you have to take is one Azhwar. And who's that Azhwar? He's the middle of everyone. Nadunayam Arka. Yar Abdina, he is Kulasekhara. How do we? Generally, you have Taniyans. In Vaishnava Sampradaya, you have a verse that propitiates or that prays unto that Azhwar or Acharya. And before singing their verses, we sing that Taniyan. Neela Tungas Dhanagiri Tani Suttam Vaibhavotsavam Krishnam. How she wakes up Lord Krishna. This is Andal's Taniyan, isn't it? And the Madhuri, and these Taniyans are composed by Purvacharyas. And who has composed and Kulasekhara Azhwar has composed 100 verses, a little over 100 verses on Perumal. Only 100, while other Azhwars have composed thousands of verses. Perumal only is 1,000 verses. Kulasekhara Azhwar is just 100 verses. In 100 verses, he pours out his heart. And his Taniyan is written by none other than our Emperor Maharaj, Vijayam. And what does he say? He says, he calls a parrot. Generally, we see how our Andal calls a parrot, and she sends a message. It's as a messenger to Perumal, isn't it? And Meera calls a parrot. She says, Radhe Krishna Bol Dhoti Mahina, isn't it? And the Madhuri, the reason they have a parrot in their hands is that is their best friend, right? And it will repeat what they say, and they can cry out their heart to the parrot. And the Madhuri, here, Vaibhavotsavam calls a parrot. And when you call a parrot, you will have to give something. And our Vaibhavotsavam says, Innamudam Mutagain Ingeva Paingiliye. I feed you with some really good food. Innamudam Mutagain. Really good food. Come here, O parrot. What is this parrot? What does he want the parrot to do? Tendarangam Padavalla Seer Perumal Ponnanchilai Cheruvalir Ved Seralakon. Innana the Ranga Sulapuria. Perumal is Sulapuria. What does he want to say the parrot? He says, Yengal Kulasekharan Yenke Kuru. Chant the name of Kulasekhara. Yeah? Acharya is now on the road is enough. Yeah? Verum, Adu, Yengal Kulasekharan. Vyakhyana Prapanna Kulasekhara. He is the king of all Prapanna Kula. Anyone who wants to surrender to Bhagavan, he is the king of Prapanna Kulasekhara. Chant Kulasekhara's Nama. Perumal says to the parrot, yeah, Bhagavan Nama, who made that? Over and above Bhagavan Nama is Acharya. Once our Ramanujacharya goes, when there is all this invasion from lectures into Srirangam, Ramanujacharya is advised to leave the place and go further up north. And he's been, traveling in the north, when I say north, in Karnataka and so on, where there is less of this attack. At one point in time, he goes to a place where his Kankaryaparas look for some kind of a place to rest for food and so on and so forth. And there he finds a potter, a potter's house. And his disciples go there and ask, can Acharya stay there for a night? And this person, this potter, he has a family and all. And he says, yeah, of course he can stay. He has not seen Ramanujacharya, but he has heard of it. He has heard, and he has so much of bhakti for Ramanujacharya. And he says, yes, obviously he can come and stay here. But by the way, who is this Acharya who has come? He's called Ramanujacharya. He's come. Ramanujacharya has come. Immediately he calls out. He calls out and says, hey, Alavandan, hey, Matikal Nambi, hey, Periya Nambi, come. Yarina, his children. He has named his children that way. He's named his children that way. He says, Alavandan, Periya Nambi, Matikal Nambi, come. See who has come. Perumal has come. How do you know name? Acharya said, sheds tears. Guess what he's thinking? Sannyasa edutinte, maybe he's thinking. Acharya பேரை சொல்றதுக்கு to keep the names of Acharyas to a little ones and sing that Bhagyam. Look at him. He has the Bhagyam of reminiscing Acharya's Nama and I am missing that Bhagyam. And that is one time apparently Ramanujacharya, he cried that he taken sannyasa, he had given up Grastashram. Avrina, Acharya's Nama alone is enough. Acharya's Nama alone is enough. And Avrina, his disciple sings, Illa Yanakkidu, Eppoludum, Yasam Madivada, Indayatula. I have my Guru's name and my lips, his form in my heart. He beautifully describes the form of Yatiraja, Ramanujacharya, and says he has this, his form is pure white. Parpa Menattigal, Maingal Aludan, Pallavane Viradum. Pavanamakiya Panduanadai Patinda Marungaradum. He describes the beautiful form of Ramanujacharya and says, if I have the form of Ramanujacharya in my heart, that Guru's form in the heart and Guru's name in our lips alone is enough. That is the greatest. And Ramanujacharya shows that with Kulasekhara Alva's name. This is the Onion of Kulasekhara Alva. As we enter his, looking at his life and works a little more. And Kulasekhara Alva, generally Alvas are called in different ways. And our Kulasekhara Alva is called Kulasekhara Perumal. When our Bhaktisara, our Poige Alva, Durat Alva, Pay Alva, or Thirumalsai, when Thirumalsai Alva is called, he's not called Thirumalsai Perumal, he's called Thirumalsai Iran. Right? Each one has an epithet, to go with. And Kulasekhara Alva is called Perumal. Kulasekhara Perumal. Why? Because he is Perumal himself, it seems. He is Perumal. He is a great Rama Bhakta. Ranganatha is his Suresh and Thiruvenamala. Or Tirupati Perumal. This is the mood Perumal. And he is as good as Perumal. Ilaya Alva. Lakshmana is also called Ilaya Perumal. Guha Perumal. Only when you can equate it to Perumal, you can call it that way. You can become Kulasekhara Alva is Kulasekhara Perumal. As a Kulasekhara Perumal, why? He was born in Kerala Desha, Kolinagar, in a place called Tiruvajikanam, and he was born as a king. Why can we equate it to Perumal? He has so much of similarities with Lord Rama. He was born in Punarvasu star as well, like Lord Rama. He was elder. He was born in the month of Masi, and Rama was born in Chitrai. So Chitrai Punarvasu star is Lord Rama, our Kulasekhara Alva is Masi Punarvasu star. Kumbe Punarvasau Jatam Kerale. Sholabandane Kaustubhamsham Dhasharadim Kulasekharam Ashraye. He is descended down in the form of Kaustuba gem of Perumal. Today we see him glittering in blue here, isn't it? And the Kaustubhama, Avatarama, Kulasekhara Azhwar, isn't it? And his most favorite deity is Ranganatha, Adhanaliyo Samama. He did Aradhana of Ranganatha just like Lord Rama, Adhanaliyo was Samama. He was born as a king, just like Rama. He left his place and went to Sri Rangam. He left his kingdom and went just like Rama. And he wanted so much of conquering. He was all for conquering for Bhagavan, and he was like Lakshmana. And he was not just conquering of Bhagavan, conquering of Bhaktas like Shatrugna. He has so much of similarities. And there are various verses that speak about when exactly he was born. Kalpyate sukha sankhyayaha yakapate masacha maghavite varshe chapi parabhave suraguror valyecha pakshe suchau. The exact paksha, which year he was born, all of that has been beautifully recorded. And he is born as the Amsham of Kaustubha. And right from his youth, because he was born to a king, his father was called Dhridaprata Maharaja. He learned all the he learned all the teachings, all the learnings that a king, a prince is supposed to learn, and all of it, after all of it, he became a prince. He started going out on conquests. Though he was in Kerala Desam, they had conquered, as he became a king, he had conquered all the Pradeshans, where he, even in his own verses, he says, Kollikavalan, Kudal Nayagan, Kolikon Kulasekharan. Kollikavalan means he ruled the entire Chera Desam. Then Kudal Nayagan, Kudal means Madurai, which is Pandya Desha. He ruled the entire Pandya Desha actually, which means he had conquered the Pandya Desha too. And the Kori means actually Urayur, which was the head of Chola Desha. So he had conquered all three Deshas, and he was such an emperor, and he had such a beautiful life of a king, and he was such a great warrior. He had a son and a daughter, and later he gave his daughter in marriage to Ranganatha himself. So he becomes on par with the girl. That is the greatness of Kulasekhara Azhwar. And he, in this 100 verses, as he loves Ramavatara. In Vaibhavotsavam, he loves Ramavatara. And Krishnavatara, but primarily Ramavatara. He writes 10 verses purely describing Lord Rama's strength. And when he goes to Tirukandapuram, it is Lord Krishna. Tirukandapuram, Lord Krishna's Sannidhi. But Bhagavan is already put to sleep there. He doesn't want to come back without seeing Bhagavan. He sees in mental heart. He starts putting Bhagavan to sleep. He sings Bhagavan to sleep and comes. Ultimately, he discourages Bhagavan's Lord Rama's Leela. He looks at him as Lord Rama. And the ways, the bhavas of Azhwar are so extremely different than other Azhwars. No one else has looked at it from how he has looked at it. Imagine, he becomes Dasharatha. And no one has done this, but he becomes Dasharatha, and from his bhava, he describes how Dasharatha felt when Rama went to the forest. He's written 10 verses on that. Imagine him becoming Devaki when Vasudeva is taking Lord Krishna out to Gokula. He writes 10 verses on how Devaki would feel. He would see the pangs of separation of our Krishna. Andaman Bhavatrala. And then Tirumithwa Kodu is very famous in our Sangam because of the doctor verse, Varadharati. So, and that verse is by Kulasekhara Azhwar on Tirumithwa Kodu. Ramoji has beautifully explained the greatness of that verse. That is our Kulasekhara Azhwar's verse. In the Madri, and Tiruchitrakutam, where Govindaraja Perumal is there, he's written, he's spoken about Perumal there. And he primarily on Ranganath stone. He wanted to go to Ranganatha. He wanted to go to Sri Lanka all the time. இதெல்லாம் எப்படி வந்தது? Someone has to call him. I told you Mahans, someone will remind Mahans of their avtara karyam. Who reminded Kulasekhara Azhwar? One day he came in the dreams of Kulasekhara Azhwar. Avyaja kripaya devo bhagavan venkateshwarah swapnarangam upedyasya darshanam pragadau harihi. One day when our Azhwar was happily ruling the kingdom and wanted in his dreams, one beautiful Ajalu Perumal came. He was so scared, so broad shoulders, beautiful face, all of that. He says, "Hey, wake up. You are supposed to be reporting to me. You are my servant. You better come." Next day he wakes up and he calls all his ministers and asks, who's that came in my dream? Someone really beautiful, someone with Chankam Chakram, with beautiful, none other than him, isn't it? So when Narayanan Sathiamoorthy came, is what learned people, Vaishnavas explained, and that is when he realized. From that time onwards, he was totally taken away from all the worldly affairs, from all the kingly affairs. Tada pravruti raja pilo kadharma parangukaha dharmam bhagavatam shuddham ashritya virato bhavate sada shri vaishnava sadham sangamya prema purvakam govindam kirtayan shrinman kalakshepan chakarasaha. From that time onwards he wanted to leave. He wanted to leave and go to Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka was his most favorite place. He wanted to go to Sri Lanka. But people wouldn't leave him. They wanted to do, because he's a king, right? They won't leave him. They wanted him to stay and take care of the kingdom. So they would say, because he got so much interest in Bhagavata Dharma, they said he would like to listen to stories of Bhagavan. So they said, today we will have a Ramayana. Today we will have a Ramayana Katha. And this Ramayana will go on for 1 year. 1 year it will go on. You can go after the Ramakatha Abhishekam. So they will put him there. The ministers will put him there and say, every day there will be Katha, Ramakatha in his kingdom, in his palace. And there's a Bhagavata who will come and do the Katha. And Kulasekhara will so rapidly listen to Ramayana. Before that Ramayana ends, and the next time he said, okay, I'll go to Sri Lanka. Then another Ramayana Katha will start. This way they were putting him there itself, so that he could rule at least he could be a king and rule the kingdom. But even there, he wouldn't stop that. He would just say, the one who's giving Ramayana, right? He would say, when Ramayana was, when Lord Rama entered the forest, Maharanyam, he would go on, and he would talk about how Lord Rama entered the forests, and how Shurpanaka came, how Lakshmana defaced Shurpanaka's face, and Shurpanaka went back, and she started, she motivated Khara and Doshana to come, and there were so many 14,000 Rakshasas that came. Chaturdash Sahasrani Rakshasa Bhimata Karmana Ekascha Ramo Dharmatma Katam Yuddham Bhavishyati. Unfortunately, Valmiki Bhagavan himself has a doubt. Could you do 14,000 people and Rama on one side? How? In the Valmiki. And the Bhavathila Kulasekhara Katam Yuddham Bhavishyati. Katam Yuddham Bhavishyati. Who is Lord Rama going to fight? Immediately he calls, let us go, come on. He will take all his soldiers and he will start. Let us go and help Rama. Then the Purana Katha, next time I will not tell this Purana like this. But if you know he comes and says, no, Rama has won over it all single-handedly. Don't worry. Bhagavan in Krishna Avtara he does that. Yashoda Maya puts him to sleep. Can you give me a story? Today we can say Krishna told better than the Naha. Yashoda Maya, what Katha she'll say? She said there was a king called Rama. Ramo Nama Babuwa. There was no. Our little Krishna. Ramo Nama Babuwa. Tadabala Siti. Tau Pituhu, Rama was a king, his wife was Sita. Rama's father, Tau Pituhu, Vacha, Panchavati, Kate, Viraitas, Tama, Harat, Ravana. His wife was captured by Ravana. Our little Krishna, today, okay, there one. Nidratam Janani Katha Miti Harehe. Bhukarataha Shunmataha. Then Shurpanaka came. Then Shurpanaka was defaced and she went back. She got Khara and Dushana. Then 14,000 people came. Saumitre Kocha Dhanuhu Iti Vyakra Gira Paduna. Hey Lakshmana, come, where's my bow? Where's my bow? How Krishna becomes Rama here. Saumitre, Lakshmana, come. என்னடா தூங்க வைக்கிறான்னு ராமாயணம் சொன்னா திடீர்னு தூங்கத்துல சௌத்ரி லட்சுமணா கம்பேரிஸ் தோ கமாண்டஸ் அது அப்படிங்கிறான் பகவானே ஏன்னா ஆழ்வார் நோ டவுட் ஹி டஸ் தட் ரைட் சோ ஹி டஸ் தட் எவ்ரி டைம் நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் வந்து திஸ் பாகவதா சோ சூர்பனகா கேம் தேர் வர் ராட்சசா இட்ஸ் ஆல் அப்படியே ஸ்கிப் பண்ணி போயிடுவாரா இட் வாஸ் நாட் லைக் லாஸ்ட் டைம் யோசிப்பாரா இன்னும் போன தடவை வேற ஏதோ மாதிரி இருந்தது பாகவதர் இங்க ஹி ஸ்கிப் திஸ் அதுக்கப்புறம் போனார் இல்லையா அடுத்த தடவை கதை சொல்லும் போது he said என்னன்னா Rama went to fight the deer golden deer he went to catch the golden deer Ravana came Jahara Ravana Sitam Buddha ke Rohini Miva he said Ravana came and he captured Sita கோவம் வந்துட்டான் where's Ravana? Oh, he's in Lanka. Come. No one could stop him because there's no story, right? He has to go. Then Acharya has to go and come back. Now Brahma and Vijayam here. You have to tell the whole story, and our Azhwar didn't have that patience. He went. Come, let's. He went all the way to the banks of the ocean, shores of the ocean, and they were ready to cross. Oh, Chakravarti Perumal darshan. He gave darshan. Our Azhwar and said, no, I'm coming back from coming back from Lanka after killing Ravana. I'm coming back with Sita. With as Sita Rama, he gave the darshan to Azhwar, and Azhwar, that's Lord Rama himself had to control his emotions. That was his bhav, and he longed to go to Sri Lanka. Gushyate yasya nagare rangayatra dine dine tamaham shirasa vande rajanam Kulasekharam. This is Tanya. Always the one Azhwar wanted to go to Ranchi all the time is this Azhwar. This is Azhwar. That is so he wanted from that time he wanted to go, but he was kept there, and these he had so much of respect for Bhagavatas. And the king, the ministers had a lot of jealousy for him. Ekantanishtam tasyaiva vilokya sachivastada dvesham prapurvaishnaveshu lokadharma parayanaha. These ministers were so jealous of these Bhagavatas. These Bhagavatas had a free hand in the palace. They could go anywhere. Because they were Bhagavatas, he was totally free hand. They could go even into the king's room, the queen's room. They could go into the treasury, go anywhere. These ministers were very jealous of it. They wanted to create an issue. So they said, there's a beautiful temple for Lord Rama, and there are so many jewels. From that, they stole one Ratna Hara, a beautiful diamond necklace that is supposed to be offered to the Lord. They stole it. And they went and reported to the king, "Oh king, the necklace is stolen." And our Azhwar said, "Go and find who's taken it." We are sure these Bhagavatas are taken because no one else can go into the temple. And we searched the priest. We searched completely. We frisked the priest. The priest doesn't have it. So it should be these Bhagavatas. We set up Bhagavatas who come and keep, given free access to them. They should have taken it. No way. ये वचेत सर कदापि न विशन्त्येवं अन्ये श्री विष्णु मंदिरं तस्मात् भागवतैरेव कृता सा रत्नमालिका. All these ministers say It is only Bhagavatas who have taken it. No, he didn't even go and question the Bhagavatas. He said, there is no way this can happen. But Sri Vaishnavas are Sri Vaishnavas. They don't have any interest in all these worldly things. Can never happen. And he said, I will promise. Mantrinopi samadocya vaidya mantrika choditaha anyuhu sarvakumbascha yadbhayam rajasan. He said, I will take, you know what I will do? I will put my hands into a pot which has a snake, which has the most deadliest of snake, and I will, if the Vaishnavas have taken indeed the Ratnamala, let the snake bite me. It was a test in those days, putting your hands in the pot that has a live snake, a deadly poisonous snake. You put your hand in, and if you are true, the snake won't bite you. If not, the snake will bite you and you will die. And the Raja was ready to undergo this test. Let me put my hand into a pot with snake. And he did that. And what happened? Sarvopi bhupate estasya hastabhushanah abhavavu sarve jana vilo kyaivam Aishwaryam prapuruttamam. The moment he put his hand into the pot with the snake became a beautiful bangle around his hand and he came out unscathed. At that time, all his ministers fell at his feet and said, we are sorry for it. But it was too late. And I said, this is it. How can you come? He goes, he's crying out of the 105 or so Pasarams. He cries out, when will I go to Sri Rangam? When will I go to Sri Rangam? He cries out. Kanninegal Yendrigalo Karikkum Nade. When will I go to Sri Rangam? Beautifully he cries. If time permits future, you should see all these aspects. When he cries out, and at one point, the fourth set of 310 verses, which is 30 verses, he cries out to Sri Rangam. In the fourth 10 verses, he looks at Perumal and Tirupati, the one who called him, and says, I want to go to Tirupati again. Appo, suddenly you say Tirupati, that is why I said we have to understand it from Acharya's notes, from Acharya's explanations. Acharya very much says, வீடு அனுபவித்த பெரிய பெருமாள் தாமே சம்சார பந்தம் மறுத்து கொடுமைக்கும் கைங்கரியம் கொள்கைக்கும் திருமலையிலே நிற்கின்றாராதையாலே திருவேங்கடமுடையான் திருவடிகளே விழுந்து விரோதியில் அருச்சியும் கைங்கரியத்தில் ருச்சியும் பிறந்து வரனும் ஆவிஷ்கரிக்கிறார். பெருமாள் இருக்கா இல்லையா? பெருமாளுக்கு என்ன அப்படின்னா ஃபாதர் அண்ட் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ஸ்லாம் சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. I was ruminating on that. Srirangam is his home. இது வந்து ஆஃபீஸா? திருப்பதி is his office. அதே பெருமாள் Srirangam is his home. ஹாப்பியா ஜாலியாக வெளியே கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஃபாதர் அண்ட் ஹாஸ் ஹோம் ஸ்டில் ஹிஸ் ஹோம். Srirangam ஃபாதர் அண்ட் ஹாஸ் ஹோம் தான் இருக்கிறவாளுக்கு புரியும். He happily he's saying, he's lying down there. He's peaceful, all almas come and sing along. Where இருக்கு இல்லையா? வேற எப்போ ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுனா 3 o'clock. Morning 3 o'clock it starts, ends for 2:30 at night. No work class or nothing of that sort. Office வரணுமா? Office இங்க வரணுமா? திருப்பதி ஓடி வரணுமா? ஏன்னா this is duty, isn't it? He has promised he will take care of all the devotees in Kaliyuga. He comes to his office. So ஒரு பாகவதர் பெருமாளை பார்க்க வரணும் அப்படின்னா ஸ்ரீரங்கத்துக்கு வருவார். when he is at home, when he is in office, he go to office na. அதனால he wants to go to Tirupati and see பெருமாள் there. இப்போ அந்த காலத்துல மேபி கோவிட் டைம்ல work from home, but after COVID, we have to go to office. அது பெருமாள் கோவிட் டைம்ல தான் ஆஃபீஸ் போவார். நமக்கு எல்லாரும் பதில் கண்டிப்பா ஆஃபீஸ் போவார். he has to go to office. இவரு அப்படிதான் கோவிட் டைம்ல he was in his home, in his home. Now he's at office for all of us. அந்த மாதிரி பெருமாள் comes to office 3 o'clock in the morning. அதனால So Perumal, so Azhwar says, let me go to office and see Perumal. Office la appointment கிடைக்காது. ஸ்ரீரங்கத்தில் கூட appointment கிடைச்சிடும். He will go. The way he enjoys Azhwar in Srirangam, amazing. If you look at his Sri Shaktis in Srirangam, Srirangam பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா சம்பிரதாயப்படி if you go to Srirangam, பெருமாள் வாழ்க்கை கூடாது. ஏன் அப்படின்னா you have to go, first you have to look at others and go to Narayanan first. Go to Narayanan, have her darshan, அதுக்கப்புறம் ASP வந்து you have to have darshan of பெருமாள். Azhwar has trained the reverse. First he goes banging into the Namadwaar, into the Samudi, crossing all different mandapams, crossing the Stambam, Vijayam, Stambam, all of that. He goes into the Samudi and he looks at Perumal. He looks at the beauty of Perumal. இருளிச்சுடன் மணிகள் இமைகளும் நெற்றி இனத்துத்தி அணிபணம் ஆயிரங்கள் ஆர்ந்த. He looks at our Adisesha and he looks at Perumal lying down there with Adisesha, shining lights on Perumal. How do you look at Perumal? He looks at it, that is his first possible. And then he's going against Sampradaya. He should do all of this, and he says, the way he goes, he looks at Perumal first and then comes out. Then I will stand, I will lean on one of the pillars and look at Perumal. Then I go one step back. I will stand in the Santanu Mandapam and look at Perumal. It is filled with flowers. I will, during, especially on a Utsav day, he's always outside. It's filled with flowers on all of them that have been offered to Perumal. I enjoy that Perumal. Then how he ends it. In the street, Rangavilasam is where there is a lot of stores. Today there is a lot of it's marketplace. In those days, that would be the place for bhajans. All Bhagavatas would be there. He says, I will be one among the Bhagavatas and do bhajana. Then the Vyakyanam here is, why would he do the reverse of if he goes into the Rangavilasam there, he will never have interest for Perumal. And the bhajanele he will be there. Bhajananandam mokshanandame. He'll be there in the bhajana itself. He won't even have the ruchi for Perumal. Then bhajan. Yeah, the Perumal bhajanike வருவார். அப்ப அங்க தரிசனம் பண்ணி. அப்படினே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் உள்ள போய் பெருமாளை பார்த்துட்டு அந்த மாதிரி அவருடைய பாவம் அவ்வளவு ஆச்சரியமா இருக்கு. அவர் he prays unto our Perumal, asking for boons. Generally, it is said, don't ask for any boons. But here, he says, ask for some boons, And Azhwar, what he says is, he prays to Bhagavan in 10 verses. He says, I want to be associated with Tirupati. Whatever it be, let me get a janma in Tirupati. Let me get some kind of a janma in Tirupati. And the first verse he says, Ooneru selvathu udaperviyan vendeen aaniyel selvendran adimai thiramallar Ooneru sengam idattan than venkadathu koneri vaalum kurgai pirappene. And we want as a stork, and we want as a crane, a stork in Koneri, in Swami Pushkarini Tirtham of Tirupati, is what he says. He has a beautiful human birth. Jantu Nama, Lama Sopra Jantu Nama, but he says, I will be born as a star, a crane. It is Ooneru selvathu udappiravi naanam vendeen. Look at this body. They may reach one point and say, okay, you don't grow anymore. Human bodies alone, there is you can grow, you can keep growing horizontally. Mamsapindam அப்படிங்கிற பெரியவாச்சாமி. You can put on flesh. There is no limit to it, isn't it? I don't want a pyramid like this. Even if it is a star, in Tirupati, in Tirumala, I will eat. And with that, here, beautiful Vyakhyana, Avandane Virodhiyai Pokki Kangaliyatile Anvayapadittum Avananan Nappinai Pratiyoti Samsleshathukku Idaichuvaran Rishabhangal Ezhum Endravan Aan Eel Vendran. The beautiful Leela of Bhagavan, Lord Krishna, when he wins 7 bulls. and marries the Appinai Patti, isn't it? That is whom he refers to as our Perumal here. And he says, I will be in the service of these Bhagavatas that come to the temple. He stand on one leg and I will meditate on Perumal. I will be in that Pushkarini, in the Swami Pushkarini, and I will meditate on Perumal. Then our Azhwar thinks, what if the water has dried out? Let water not dry out. Even if I am a bird has wings, so I may have the ego that I have wings, and I may fly out one day. I may go out of Tirupati one day. So no more crane. I don't want to be a crane. Then what? Second verse he says, Anala Selvathu Arambayanagal Shura Vanalum Selvum Manchu Manasuram Yan Vende Mandarasum Yan Vende Penar Punjole Tirsingadachunayil Neenai Pirakum Vidiyudaye Ravene. I'll be born as a fish. Fisher? Yes. Yeah, Veda, birth, life, death, everything can be only in water. You don't have that Swatantram. Yeah, it is better not to have it. Swatantram, so I'll be born as a fish. And I will get the bhagyam of touching Bhagavata's feet. If they come to the water, I will get to touch Bhagavata. I will eat the dirt from Bhagavata's feet. I will clean their feet. I will get their sparshan. I will clean the tank by eating the dirt. And the bhagyam. I will say I'll be born as a fish, as long as I am in Tirupati. Then he says, what if the water dries out? Right? In summer, if the water dries out, what will I do? Then he looks, if you see, only one person will go inside. One person or a helper will go inside. Allah says, I'll be the helper. When everyone is outside waiting for darshan, Pinnitta Sadayanam Viramanam Indiranam Tunnitta Pugalariya Vaikundarin Vasal Minvatta Chudagani Venkadakko Antan Umulum Ponvattil Pidithudane Pugappirivene Ponvattil Pidithudane. One who carries the vattil, the cups which you use for Bhagavan's Tiruvaranam. I'll be the one who carries the cups. Yeah, I get the bhagyam of taking Bhagavan's spit. It is for use. It is actually spit of Bhagavan, isn't it? I get the bhagyam. And I will get this darshan first. So, Azhwar's Vyakyanam is Panikku Kadavan, Ivani Pugavidu, apparently who's all waiting? Brahma is waiting. Pinnitta Sadayanam, Mayana, Perivachan Vyakyanam is Pinnitta Sadayanam, one whose locks are braided. Pinnitta Sadayanam, Lord Shiva. Viramanum, Pinnitta Sadayanam Viramanum. Lord Shiva and Brahma are waiting in line. Pinnitta Sadayanam Brahmanumna Brahma Pinnitta Sadayanam. Appa Pinnitta Sadayanam. Pinnitta Sadayanam Viramanum, Indiranum, all of them are waiting. Apo, they say, I want to let him enter. You need that, right? Antaranga Vrittikaga Kadava, Avrodu Nanum Sajathiyanai Pugavenum. That is, I'll get Bhagavan's darshan that way. So let me be the one who carries the matter. He has his third wish. This is more and more ego. Maybe I will, I don't know how my buddhi will be. I will start, that is gold, no? I will maybe steal the weapon also. I don't know what my Rajogunam is. I don't want to have a human birth at all. I will go back to, there is no star, no fish, nothing. I will become a tree. I will become it. One Pavadavele, Udabutan, Parkadalul, Kantuilum Mayon, Kadavinagal, Kanpadak, Pampagarum, Dinangal, Panpadum, Dinkadak, Chembagamalkum, Tirudagain, I'll become a flower there. A beautiful Shempada flower there. So I can be offered to Bhagavan's feet. I can, sometimes you may not be offered. There will be so many devotees that come. They may take it and go. Still, that is a blessing. I'll be of use to Bhagavatas. Someone may say, hey, the Chipi we'll take this steady and we'll take it home. Some way we'll take even the tree out of the then he says, the flower are not a problem. Then I will become a shrub, a thorn shrub there. As long as I am in Tirumala, I will become even a thorn shrub. Kambavadayane Kaltagatin Melinde, Imbamarum Selvum, Ivarasumya, Venden, Yemberman, Isan, Yelpena, Malay, Tambagama, Nikum, Tavamuri, Avene, I will become a shrub there with thorns. No one is going to care for me. No one is going to care for me. I will get some water in the rains. I can just be. No one is going to take me. All that. That is me. I can just be there. I will let people, disregard me. Even people may cut me down. That is okay. I will just be a shrub there. Then he thinks of it. Some men may approach me even completely and take me off Tirumala. I cannot be like the tree. I will become one of the peaks in Tirumala. Urupasiyum, Menagayum, Annavatam, Pardanudum, Hardanavai, Idalaniye, Tenagadavantinangal, Panpadum, Megadatul, Annanayam, Purkuvada, Marundavatana. I will become a peak there. So that I will stay there, no one can take me away, and I will be one of the, I enjoy Bhagavan's dhyanam from there. I cannot, some Bhagavatas I can get darshan of. Those Bhagavatas that cannot climb up the mountain, I cannot have darshan of Leela and Aranya. I will be a river. Next. Kana, I will be a river. Look at this thought process, I will be a river. A river Kana Ravine. வாடாடும் மாமதி போல் வெண்குடை கீழ் மன்னவர்த்தம் கோனாகி வீற்றிருந்து கொண்டாடும் செல்வரியே தேனார் பூஞ்சோலை திருவேங்கட மலைமலைமேல் கானாராய் பாயும் கருத்துடையே ராவேனே. And become a river there, a stream that flows down. That way people will come and quench their thirst. It may be used for water there for Perumal, to serve him. People may quench their thirst. Ikshokas Parishak Kitana Bhagavad. Kirtan is one of the 24 gurus. The quality of the Kirtan is by merely looking at water we feel happy. Iksha Upasparisha. When it is so hot, we touch a little bit of water. It makes us feel so happy. So at least I will be a source of happiness for Bhagavatas. I will be a stream there. Adhikapra stream, no may die out. Sometimes I could cause blood and maybe I will become motionless. I'll be stable. Now, look how he transforms from something animate to inanimate. He's transformed from a shrub to a stream. Now he says, I will be the path that goes to Tirumala. Visayayanam, Viramanam, Viranam, Murayaya, Periveldi, Kurai, Pudipan, Narayanan, Veriyatan, Cholai, Tiruvengadamalai, Mel, Neriyai, Kidakum, Neriyudiginave. I will be the path that people walk on. People will happily step on me and go. I will be the path. I will show the path for everyone. I will be the path for everyone. அதுவும் வேண்டாங்க. அதுவும் வேண்டாங்க. ஏன் அப்படின்னா they will change the path. They will say we'll have a winch now. We'll take you to a different means. I will not get the sparsham of all Bhagavatas. If I want the sparsham of all Bhagavatas, I need to be one. என்ன அப்படின்னா I need to be this doorstep. So he says, the 9th verse, he says, Chediyayavan Vinigal Tirkum Tirumale, Nediyane, Venkadava, Ninkoyilin Vasal, Adiyarum, Vanavarum, Marangayarum, Kidandiyagum, Adiyay Kidandun, Papadava, I can't be I'll be this doorstep. I'll be the doorstep at your feet, in there, and I will look at your beautiful pearl-like lips. Adiyay Kidandun, Papadava, I can't be he says, we are not going into the details of these verses because for the want of time, he talks about 3 different peoples. Adiyar, Vanava, Arambayarum. He says 3 types of people come and see you. There's going to be pure devotees that come. There's going to be all the devas, Brahma, Indra, and all these devas that come. And then there is going to be Rambai, Urvasi and all. who is dependent on these devas, all these kind of people, they are going to come, all of them will step on me. Oh, there's a question, right? Is he sentient or insentient? Vijayam says, sentient and also insentient. எப்படி இப்படின்னா பாரதந்திரத்துக்கு அச்சேதன சமாதியாகவும் வேணும், அருமை புருஷார்த்தமா ஆகைக்கு காணவும் வேண்டும். என்னன்னா, for everything that is not Bhagavan created, I have to be insentient. When I turn inside and look at Perumal, I need to see his lips as ruddy lips. அந்த மாதிரி என்ன ஒரு அழகு. If we can get that kind of a birth where we become stone to everything worldly, ஒரு நாமா கேட்டா மட்டும் நமக்கு அப்படி we have to have that qualification. கண்ணன் ஜரம் அவ்வாறு இருந்ததுலாம் எப்படி இருக்கும், அதுதான் கேட்கிறேன். அதுதான் கேட்கிறேன். Only for when it comes to Perumal, I want to be enjoying this point. Azhwar thinks, என்னடா இது நம்ம பாட்டு கேட்டுட்டே இருக்கோம், keeping on asking all this. என்ன இது விஷ்ணு லட்சணமா இல்லை? As if you are so intelligent in it. Even though you are in Tirumala, even though they are asking for a vasam in Tirumala, still it is not right. Azhwar wakes up and says, the last verse he says, உம்பர் உலகாண்டு ஒரு குடைக்கு உற்பசிதன் அம்பர் கலை அருகுல் பெற்றாரும் மாதிரியே செம்பவளவாயாது வேங்கடம் என்னும் எம்பெருமான் பொன்மலை மேல் ஏதேனும் ஆவேனே. I don't want to say, I want to do this long and now. ஏதேனும் ஆவேனே. As long as it is in Tirumala, I will be whatever you decide. And it shouldn't be known to anyone. நானும் அறிய வேண்டாம், பெரியவச்சன் நானும் அறிய வேண்டாம், திருவேங்கடமா அவர்களுடையானும் அறிய வேண்டாம், கண்டாரும் அறிந்து ஸ்லாகிக்கவும் வேண்டாம். திருமலை மேலே உள்ளதொரு பதார்த்தமாக அமையும். That's it. You know, I will just be something. No one will know. அதனால beautifully they sing, isn't it? ஒரு லிஸ்ட் போட்டார். புண்ணியமஹோ புண்ணியம் சேஷகிரீவா லிஸ்ட் போட்டார். பிருங்க பிருங்க பசு பக்ஷி மத்ய கஜாஸ்வ கரு சம்பாதி இதோடவா இருக்கலாம் ஆழ்வார். நமாம்யஹம் தணிகா பாபி சண்டால பிக்ஷு மாம்ச மது விக்ரியாதி நமாம்யஹம் தீர்த்தரஜோ வாயு விஷஜந்து கிருமி சுனக கர பிரமுகா நம. திருமலையில everything is Bhagavad. எல்லாரும் ஏன் அப்படின்னா ஆழ்வார் could be anything. That is what he has asked for finally. கண்டா மத்தள வீணா வேரி துந்துபி முரளி பிரமுகா நமாம்யஹம் புண்ணியமஹோ புண்ணியம் சேஷகிரிவாசம். அதே பிரார்த்தனையா கேட்கிறார். தவ சரணாம்புஜ சாயாயாம் மம தயயாவாசம் தேஹி ஸ்ரீராம. This tribute to Lord Rama in the bhava of Kulasekhara, Shishana asks, Tava punya katake mino bhavami va tava divya mandire stambho bhavami va tava pushpavanepi tarul bhavami va tava dasarasiko bhrityo bhavami va Sheshagirivasa Shrutajana Soma Srinivasa Keshava Satyakama Sishupalakam Sa Ravana Bhima Sridhara Premika Hridaya Rama. May I have any kind of word, please bless me with that Bhagavad. Apri, with that smarana of Azhwar, she should please, we will end today with prarthanas and to Bhagavan to give us more and more satsanga, more and more darshan, and the darshan of Buddha flow in that, and more satsanga with that prarthana, Bhutabja Kasaya Modi Bhakti Sara परकाल षटकोपसन्मुखाय भागवत पदरेणु कुलशेखर बाण श्री विष्णु चित्तार्य वन्दिताय जय मंगलम नित्य शुभ मंगलम मधुर कविनाथ मुनियामुनाचार्य महापूर्णयतिराज सेविताय महनीय कुलेश पराशर भट्टार्य माधव मुनि कृष्ण सूरि भाविताय जय मंगलम नित्य शुभ मंगलम निगमांत गुरुदेव वरवर मौन्यादि निर्दोष निजदास पूजिताय निगमांत वेद्याय श्रीरंगनाथाय निरवध्य प्रेमिका कीर्तिताय जय मंगलम नित्य शुभ मंगलम भागवत प्रियाय भवदुःखहरणाय पांडव वंश पोषकाय मुरलीधर भक्त कामिक पूर्तिकाय श्रीमते प्रेमिक वरदाय जय मंगलम नित्य शुभ मंगलम सावित्री राज गोपाल कालाय शरदिन्दु कोटि समशीतलाय साक्षात् परब्रह्म पूर्ण स्वरूपाय मुरलीधराय मम गुरुवराय जय मंगलम नित्य शुभ मंगलम कालेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना प्रत्यय स्वभावात् करोमि इति सकलं परस्मै श्रीमन्नारायणाय समर्पयामि गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्द गोविन्द